crafty cuties, welcome back to Paper Terrace. Today we are going to work on making a large snippet roll, and I'm going to show you an example real quick. This is a pretty basic plain one, but if you don't know what a snippet roll is, it's basically like a long piece of fabric that has all kinds of little snippets. It can be things like laces, fabrics, die cuts, stickers, cheesecloth, things like that. Basically, when I'm making one of these, my goal is to just use a bunch of different textures. And today I'm creating a themed one, which is a strawberry theme. You can see here to go along with my strawberry themed journal packs that I'm working on. So I have just a variety of all kinds of things surrounding me. And I thought I would go ahead and just turn on the camera so we can create one together at a tabletop view. I do a lot of this stuff on my channel during live streams, and I realized that it's not the best way to actually learn or see up close if you're actually wanting to learn. So I try to do a variety of those on my channel, and the live streams are really a lot more for just hangouts. But I also just went ahead and grabbed some teeny little bulb pens, because things like that and teeny little pins and buttons can also be really fun. So I'm gonna get started, and if I can link any products below, I will. I'm starting with, this kind of looks like an ace bandage my daughter brought up to me, but it's some kind of fabric that's kind of like a muslin fabric, but it's thicker. So I thought it was a great resource to start with. And yeah, I like to start out by layering some neutral colored fabrics or cheesecloth, and I can't find my cheesecloth, so I'm going to start by cutting up, I just grabbed some scraps too, cutting up some lace, but fabric scraps are really great for this as well. Now that I'm holding this lace, it's kind of thick, and I don't want this to be too thick, so change of plan. I'm going to use just some lace that I have here. Now I start out working in smaller bits, and if you could see, I have a pretty big pack here. Not pack, but I have a lot of this fabric, and I still like to work in like 12 to 15 inch increments and then move on. And I always keep mine intact so that it's one big piece of fabric. And then I believe the reason it's called a snippet roll is because essentially you can take these and roll it up and keep it maybe in your craft room. You can cut little bits and pieces off as you go to use however you want, like in your projects. I'm specifically making these for journals, and I'm also specifically going to cut these apart and share with my Patreon members, but I have made them to actually hang out in my craft room, and it's really a nice way to have something on hand that you can use in journals. So I know I'm doing a lot of explaining, but I do want to make sure that anyone who's interested and has never made this can feel inspired, but have a good understanding of what a snippet roll is and all of that. I'll also talk about how I would use these in a journal as well as we go on. So I'm not going to glue or put anything down permanently yet. You'll see me kind of working back and forth. I'll take things off, put things back on. I really wish I had my cheesecloth, and I just don't know where it is, but so bear with me for a moment. I might use a little bit of this. I know I already put some lace down, but I do like to have a variety of layers. I'm going to take this lace that I have. So I always start with my fabrics and laces first, but there's really no right way to do this. Just have fun, experiment, try different layers and see what you like. And then when I like how something is, I may go ahead and use just my staple for now, but I am probably going to take this to my sewing machine. Oh, I'm thinking, since I'm doing a strawberry theme, I think I definitely have to include this leaf trim. So again, I'm just going to kind of pile everything on here for now. Okay. I also have some strawberry trim as well. I don't know if that's going to be too much. I think we'll go for it though, actually. I kind of want this to be too much. Okay, I'll finalize how everything's laying down, like when I either staple or sew it, but we'll just kind of go like this for now. I'm thinking I want to use some little scraps of paper. I don't really have any scraps in this theme, so I'm just going to rip some. Now for me, since I already know I'm going to be cutting these up in little pieces, I'm going to keep that in mind so that every so often there will be more of a focal point image. And I'm probably going to be cutting these in 2.5-inch pieces. And again, that might not be important information to you, maybe 3, but I want to keep that in mind. And maybe if you're making something similar, you also might be making these, knowing that you're going to be cutting at certain lengths, and you can just keep that in mind, but obviously you don't have to do that. So I'm gonna have like little scraps of paper, I think, like that. And then I think I'll basically just put down like a focal image. And so we'll just kind of vary what we have going. These are so darling, but they're a little too big for this, I think. I might save those for a different project and probably use more of these. And these are stickers, but I think I might end up stapling them on. And I'm just looking through my little stash here to see what I like. I'm not going to finish this entire roll on camera because it's going to be really repetitive, but I at least want to get through. Let's see, I'm going to put that a little closer, kind of like that. I'm liking the plaid paper background. Yeah, I have these little postage stamp stickers that will be cute also. Okay, so now I kind of like what we've got going on, so I'm going to start stapling, just not a bunch, but I'm going to staple like where the paper pieces are, just to hold everything down well enough so that I can take it to my sewing machine. And you don't have to sew these. You can absolutely use like a variety of glue and staples. Oops. Okay, I'm at a weird angle, but I want to try to make that work. Okay. We'll clip this one on here. Like that. Okay, so now if I'm going to add any safety pins or metal pieces, I always make sure that I do the sewing first. I like the texture that the sewing gives this as well. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine just off camera real quick and then just run like 1 or 2 stitches through this. So I keep trying to start this. My dog's going crazy and I have kids home for the summer, so bear with me. But I went ahead and sewed, and I just did a stitch on like the top half and then the bottom half. And I just do enough stitches that it will hold all of the pieces and lace down. But if you'll notice, I added a couple little pieces of a merchandise tag. I thought that would look kind of cool. So after I do that, normally I will just move on and keep adding more to my snippet roll until I get done. It seems easier for putting it through the sewing machine to do it in sections, but of course do whatever is easiest for you. Then when I'm done with the sewing, I will add any metal pieces that I want. Same with buttons, but I am sending these in the mail and that makes it a little harder to have anything two-dimensional. So for this one specifically, I'm just going to take some cute little bulb pins and some tiny little safety pins, which just add a little something. And then I'll go through and like for this one, I might go like this. Even when it's not like obviously holding anything on, I think it adds a cute little touch. So I'll just go every other, we'll use a bulb pin. And if I was making this for my own craft room, I would probably add little things like bells. Again, those are a little too dimensional for me to send in flat mail, but those are ideas if you are doing this at home. You could add charms, are really fun. But I think even just like the plain bulb pens and safety pens also look really cute. So we'll add one over here. You can even, you could use eyelets. Eyelets would be really fun. And you could also hold on little pieces of maybe like a little tag or something like that with the bulb pins. And then over here I have this little merchandise tag and it has a hole in it. And so this could be fun to maybe put your bulb pin through that. Now I'm going to show you a couple ways how I would use this in my own journal. So let me grab that. So I have my journal open up to just a blank page, and I'm going to first show you what I would do with a smaller piece. Like, since I am going to be sending smaller pieces to my Patreon members, I want to be realistic and show you what you can do with something. So this is more like 4 inches. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I decide how big these are going to be. But for something like that, first of all, one thing you could do is you could like glue this on the bottom of a page and have a teeny little pocket. But if I wanted to have a bigger pocket, I would probably use some scrap paper like this, you know, cut it down to size, glue it on the 3 sides just like a regular pocket, but then I would just use this as the main decoration on that pocket. So really simple. Other things you can do are with smaller pieces is you can put them on the side as a tab, and that looks really cool. But one of my other favorite ideas is to take an envelope and just easily put it on the flap like that. And then that would be your little flap once you have it all glued on. So I hope that those few ways will help you out in figuring out how you would actually use a snippet roll in your journal. If you have other ways, and I'm sure you guys do, go ahead and leave your ideas down in the comments how you like to use snippet rolls, or if you've ever made one. And I can't wait to hear from you in the comments. So I will see you guys soon, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.